Let's have a look at this question. We have 4 equations and 3 lines on a graph. We are asked to figure out which equation belongs to which line. To do this the fastest way possible, we are going to look first at the y-intercept and the slope. The y-intercept is the number at the end of an equation in y equals mx plus b form. It tells us exactly where the line hits the y-axis when x is 0. Line 1, green line, it crosses the center line, so it hits right at 0. Line 2, blue line, it crosses the center line at 4. Line 3, red line, it crosses the center line at -4. Now let's look at our equations and find those matching numbers. Line 1, green line. The equation for this line is y equals 4x, because there is no number added at the end, which means the intercept is 0. Line 2, blue line. The equation for this line is x plus y equals 4. If we move x to the other side, it becomes y equals -x plus 4. That positive 4 at the end matches our graph perfectly, and the -x explains why the graph is tilting downwards. Line 3, red line. The equation for this line is y equals x4. The -4 at the end tells where the line starts on the y-axis. In addition, the positive x is an indication that the line is tilting upwards, since it is positive. We are left with one equation, y equals x plus 4. There is no line drawn for this equation, as the line should cross the y-axis at +4, and the line should be tilting upwards since the x, or slope, is positive. Let's have a look at this question together. Looking at the example in your image, an x-intercept is simply the spot where a line crosses the horizontal x-axis. If you look at the graph, the line hits the x-axis at point A, 1, 0. As you can see, the y value is always 0 when finding x-intercept. To find an x-intercept the fastest way possible, set y equals 0 and solve for x. The first function we are given is y equals x minus 11. Set y equals 0. 0 equals x minus 11. Now add 11 to both sides to get x by itself. X equals 11, so our coordinates are 11, 0. The second function is x equals 9. Always remember, when you are given a function without a y value, this will always represent a vertical line that stays at x equals 9 no matter what. Since it is a vertical line, it crosses the x-axis exactly at 9. So the coordinates are 9, 0. Let's take a look at these questions. There are a few quick shortcuts we can use to find the slope without graphing. Part A. We are given the line x equals 3. This is a vertical line since every point on this line has an x-coordinate of 3. If you try to calculate the slope, y over x, you will notice that the x value, which is the horizontal change, is 0 because the line never moves left or right. In math, we can't divide by 0. Therefore, always remember, whenever the equation given is x equals number, this is always a vertical line, and the slope is undefined. So the answer for part A is 999 for undefined. Part B. We are given the line y equals 3. This is a horizontal line since every point on the line has a y-coordinate of 3. If you try to calculate the slope, y over x, you will notice that the y value, which is the vertical change, is 0 because the line never go up or down. So any equation that is just y equals number is a flat, horizontal line, and its slope is always 0. Answer for part B is 0. Part C. We are given the line y equals 5x minus 1. This line is written in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. In this formula, the letter m stands for the slope. So look for the number right next to the x. Add that coefficient as your slope. Therefore, the slope for this line is 5. Let's have a look at this question. To solve these linear equations, we need to remember the following rules for the slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. In this form, m is the slope. Once we know the slope, we can easily tell what the line looks like. A positive slope, where m is greater than 0, the line is oblique and rising. A negative slope. Where m is less than 0 the line is oblique and falling. 0 slope. Where m equals 0 the line is horizontal flat. If there is no y in the equation, the slope is undefined and the line is vertical. Part A. We are given the equation 5y equals 1.8x plus 14. First, we need to get y by itself, so divide everything by 5. Now look at the number in front of x. We have 1.8 over 5. Since it is positive, the slope is greater than 0, and the line is oblique and rising. Part B. We are given the equation negative 2.1y equals 7x plus 9. First, we need to isolate y. Divide everything by negative 2.1. Now look at the number in front of x. We have negative 7 over 2.1. Since it is negative, the slope is less than 0, and the line is oblique and falling. Part C. We are given the equation negative 11x equals 121. Notice there is no y at all. When we only have x, it means the line crosses the x-axis at x equals negative 11 and goes straight up and down. Since the line is vertical, the slope is undefined. Part D. We are given the equation 0.2y equals negative 10. Notice there is no x in this one. Solve for y by dividing by 0.2. So negative 10 divided by 0.2 equals negative 50. Therefore, the slope is equal to 0, and the line is horizontal. Let's have a look at this question. To solve these quickly, equations are to be in a slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. In this form, m is the slope, and it will tell us exactly what the line is doing. If m is positive, where m is greater than 0, the line is rising. If m is negative, where m is less than 0, the line is falling. If m is 0, where m is equal to 0, the line is horizontal. Part A. We are given the equation y plus 4.5x equals 20. Move the x term to the other side by subtracting 4.5x from both sides. We get y equals negative 4.5x plus 20. As you can see, the slope, negative 4.5, is less than 0. A negative slope means the line goes down as you move left to right. Since the slope is less than 0, hence the line is falling. Part B. We are given the equation 6y equals 2x plus 2.5. We need y by itself, so divide everything by 6. The result is y equals 2 over 6x plus 2.5 over 6. Now look at slope 2 over 6. Since the slope is positive, which means it is greater than 0, hence the line is rising. Part C. We are given the equation negative 7y equals 35. Notice there is no x term at all. This means the slope is 0. Since the slope is equal to 0, this means the line stays flat, horizontal. Let's have a look at this question. We are looking for point u, that is based on the line with a slope of 5 over 2. We know that a slope is the result of the change in y over the change in x. Therefore, we will move from the start point t 2 steps to the right and 5 steps upwards, since the slope is positive. Look at the graph. Point t has the coordinates of 2, 1. So 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Our new x-coordinate is 4. As for the new y-coordinate, 1 plus 5 is equal to 6. So our new y-coordinate is 6. Therefore, point u is located at 4, 6. Let's have a look at this question. The question asks us to find 3 points with integer coordinates, that means whole numbers only, that fit the equation y equals negative 2x plus 4. In math, we call this the slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. The number at the end, plus 4, is our y-intercept. This is where the line crosses the vertical y-axis. The number attached to the x, negative 2, is our slope. Think of it as a fraction, negative 2 over 1. This tells us for every 1 step we go right, we go down 2 steps because it is negative. Instead of making a long table of values, let me show you how to solve this the fastest way. Since they want 3 points, we can consider the y-intercept as a point, and the x-intercept as another point. For the y-intercept, go to the y-axis and look at the point where the line, y equals negative 2x plus 4, crosses the y-axis. This point is 0, 4. For the x-intercept, go to the x-axis and look at the point where the line, y equals negative 2x plus 4, crosses the x-axis. This point is 2, 0. As for the third point, use the slope to find the last point. So we know that we can move 1 step to the right and 2 steps down. Let's start from the x-intercept, 2, 0. Add 1 to the x value 2. 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. Add negative 2 to the y value 0. Negative 2 plus 0 equals negative 2. Looking at our graph, we don't have the point 3 on the x-axis. So let's take the point after that. Start from 3, negative 2. Add 1 to the x value. 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. Add negative 2 to the y value, negative 2. Negative 2 plus negative 2 equals negative 4. So our point is 4, negative 4. Notice how they form a perfect diagonal line leaning to the left? That's because the slope is negative, negative 2. This question is asking us to identify which equations represent lines with an undefined slope. To tell the difference between horizontal and vertical lines by looking at the equation. Y equals number is a horizontal line. It has a slope of 0. X equals number is a vertical line. It has an undefined slope because it doesn't run left or right at all, and you can't divide by 0. So, we just need to find the equations that can be simplified to x equals number. The first undefined slope is the first option. X minus 9 is equal to 0. Add 9 to both sides to get x by itself, we get x equals 9. This is a vertical line with undefined slope. The second undefined slope is the fourth option. X equals 1. As this is a vertical line passing through 1 on the x-axis and having an undefined slope. The third undefined slope is the fifth option. X equals 0. This is also a vertical line passing through 0 on the x-axis and having an undefined slope. When we talk about an undefined slope, immediately think of a vertical line. The fastest way to spot an undefined slope is to look for an equation with no y value. It will look like x equals number, or in a coordinate form, where the x values in both points will be the exact same. Looking at our options, the first two options are not correct because a y value represents a horizontal line and not a vertical line. Always remember, when it is a horizontal line, slope should be equal to 0, not undefined. Looking at the fourth and fifth options, those two options will have an undefined slope since the equation fits the x equals number rule. Now let's have a look at the other three options, where they give us 2 points. We know that for a slope to be undefined, the x values in both points must be exactly the same. The third option have the points 1, 5, and negative 1, 5. As you can see, we have two different x values, negative 1 and 1. Therefore, this is not one of our options. How about sixth option? We have the points 0, 10, and 10, 0. Again, we have two different x values, 0 and 10. Therefore, this is not an option with undefined slope. The last option have the points 8, 1, and 8, negative 1. Now the x value in both points is 8, and we know that if the x value is the same in 2 points, then we are looking at an undefined slope example. So our undefined slope will be option 4, 5, and 8. Let's take a look at this graph. We have been given a line and its equation in standard form. 6x plus by equals k. Our goal is to find the value of constant k. To solve this, we need to find one point on the line. Looking at the x-axis, the line crosses exactly at the number 2. This is our x-intercept. The coordinates for this point are 2, 0. Use the equation 6x plus by equals k. Since we know 2, 0 is on the line, we can replace x by 2 and y by 0. 6 times 2 plus b times 0 equals k. 12 plus 0 equals k. So k equals 12.